Hey, Jen Patici here. I am going to try, I can't look and hold things at the same time. This is this, there. This is this paste that I bought that I'm going to try and I will explain it to you in a second. Okay, so for years now, I've been making collages out of torn paper. I will show you an example. Let's see. Okay, so I usually paint on watercolor paper with watercolor and then use mixed media. And I make, it's layers. Can you tell that? So I tear the paper and I make these layered landscapes. Wow, that's really hard to see. Sorry. But I have started experimenting with glassine and other papers. And I really, really, really like the way that these kind of collages are turning out because they have the paper's see-through and it's so thin, and I'm really, really enjoying this process. However, the glassine papers can sometimes get wrinkled. Can you see, like here, there are these wrinkles, and I have another example of one, which, did I get it before making the video? No, that would have involved planning far ahead of time. Okay, well, it gets really badly wrinkled sometimes. I normally use this when I make my collages, acrylic medium, but I read somewhere that this Yes paste would not wrinkle, would be completely wrinkle free. This stuff was really expensive. I just got it. I can't open it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that is not what I was expecting at all. This almost looks like Vaseline or Aquifer or something. When I was reading about it online, I got the idea that perhaps you should use almost a palette knife to spread it, but I also have this old brush that's very crappy and it's very stiff, so I thought I would try that also. Okay, so this stuff really is, it's like the texture of like Vaseline, all-purpose stick flat glue. All right, let's try it. Okay, it is very thick. And this is actually working pretty well to spread it out. Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a painting that doesn't get cat hair in it, that will be a miracle. Let me wipe my brush off. Okay, all right, so I've, again, with the cat, my cat goes in and out of this room. I can't help it. Too bad, I used to have a white cat. She passed away because she was old. And now I have a black cat. Okay, so I like to tear this into just different like strips and put it on. So let's see what happens and let's see if it gets wrinkled. Okay, so to me, is that still getting wrinkled? Is it just is it the paper underneath? Oh, actually it might be the paper underneath. I mean, also I just opened this, so I'm keeping it, but I'm hopeful. What happens if a lot of times when I paint the next layer over the top, I notice it gets more wrinkly. That does not seem to be happening here. Let's keep going. And sometimes when I use larger pieces, it also, I notice, can happen. This stuff is really sticky. I feel it sticking hard. So my process with making these is I use a piece of paper, I let it go over the edges. Once it's dry, I cut the paper to the exact size that I want. All right, let's try this. Oh, where's my, does this make a difference? So I feel like this is still wrinkling, which is kind of disappointing. But also, maybe I just need to improve my methods. Okay, that actually did seem to help. Okay, let us continue on. It's hard to explain. The texture of this stuff is, it is incredibly thick. And like I said, it very much, it's like, I've never used anything like it. I wonder if it rinses out. Again, with, can you see the cat hair? Can you see it? Maybe I should only work in black. And then I wouldn't have to worry about this. So right now I'm working on a sky. This stuff is very sticky. Let's see. this here. I haven't made one of these long form videos in a while, but you know what? I started a remote job, and not that this is at all hanging out with people, but I kind of miss talking to people. So in some ways, I guess I'm hoping maybe you will talk back to me, and tell me how you're doing, what you're making. You know, I don't know. I have that sense of missing community, and I haven't quite figured out what to do about it. Actually, I really did want a remote job, and I got one, but I kind of miss seeing people in person. I do have a family and the aforementioned cat, but you know, seeing other people. The other thing that I'm going to try is making one of these on, that was silly. I put it over the top of the paste, and now I've gotten paste on the handle. Later, my hand is probably going to end up stuck to my face. Also, in my hurry to make this video, I forgot to put my little microphone on that I have, so the sound is probably terrible. So, you know, thanks for being here while I get back into the swing of making videos that are not only 15 seconds long. I will say that this wrinkles less, but I wonder where that came from. That's interesting. I don't think I want that on there. Where did that come from? Did that appear out of nowhere, or was that just me? I feel like that orange spot appeared out of nowhere. This is wrinkling less. I do still think it's wrinkling a little bit. And this just might be something that I have to work out. Maybe this paper is not. I really like how thin it is, though. I really, really do like using it. So it's going to be a process for me, I guess, to figure it out. Again, okay, so do I have stuff like on my fingers? Y'all, I can feel this stuff is really sticky. So I probably have to, ow, oh my gosh, normally I put my knees on a pillow, and I did not do that. Okay. Sorry, let me do this on screen. Now I'm just gonna pair up some dark colors. That's my not quite happy sound. I'm not unhappy. However, this isn't, I wonder if I need to have the paper perfectly flat. You know how it kind of bows up, or I wonder, I don't know if you have any ideas, please let me know. I am open to ideas. This is this is going off the rails. This is going off the rails. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. I make sound effects when things go off the rails, apparently. Okay, and let's do some, let me find, oh, there's some nearby. Green. This is a combination I've been doing a lot lately. Pink sky, dark mountains, green. Green fields. Fields of gold. Let me literally put some gold in there so it's a field of gold. So I've been painting these glassine papers with different, see, that seems like it wrinkled up a lot. And is it because my paper is bowing up like that? I again, things to experiment with. I could also try putting directly on the wood board, but then will it have to be cut exactly right? Because that's the benefit that I've been enjoying of doing it on the paper and then cutting it after, is that I don't have to have these pieces, which are kind of hard because they're so thin, to like get exactly right. So again, things to work out. There's my gold. This is acrylic paint that I used here. I've also been experimenting with acrylic ink, and I can't think and talk and create at the same time. I've also been experimenting with, gouache, just gouache on this paper, trying to figure out what works best. You can even use watercolor on it, but of course watercolor needs to absorb really. So it's just kind of like a light layer on top. Then you do have to make sure you finish it with something so that it doesn't just like fall right off. Not literally fall off, but yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Holy moly. Okay, you stay here. Okay, normally I would let this dry more, but this actually, it's not like using this stuff. It's not as wet, this stuff. It's not as wet. It does feel like I could probably cut it right now without too much problem. I'm going to cut this down to about 4 by 4 inches because that's the size that I use when I make these. So, nope. There we go. Oh my God, my fingers are sticking to this so bad. I probably need to go wash my hands. Is this stuff water soluble? Another good question that I didn't think through about washing my hands. Nope, I didn't quite get that. Okay, let me try again. Something's not working right. Okay, you know what? We're gonna move forward. I may have cut this a little too small. Perfect. Holy sticky Batman. Okay, so here's what I made. And normally, not normally, I will add details. Sorry for taking that out of your view. Sometimes I'm just not thinking. If I was to put it on here, can I cut it a little more? Yes, I can. I'm gonna cut that a little more because that bottom's not quite how I want it. And I will add birds and maybe some little dots. Once again, no planning ahead whatsoever. My husband is doing bedtime stuff with our daughter, and I was like, now, must do now. Birds. And I have been enjoying a little bit of like a little dapple of white. I don't know why, just because. My abstracts are always a tiny bit. My landscapes are always a tiny bit abstract. This is hard with sticky fingers. I just really love how thin this paper is because it allows me to like add details over multiple layers, unlike the watercolor ones that I make. Okay, so what I would do is I would permanently put this on this block as opposed to this like kind of half taped down job. And then I would put it on one of these. And it does look nice. It does still seem a little wrinkly. Not as wrinkly as some of, I wish I could find one that was really bad. I must have thrown out some of the ones that got really, really wrinkly that I made. Because otherwise I would show you an example. But overall, I'm going to keep experimenting with it. I do really like this medium. And I feel happy with it, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I would love for you to comment and follow, and I will see you soon with some other art experiment or something.